Peah Perek Gimel Mishnah Bet. So we're going to continue with our study of, is a field one field for Peah or two fields for Peah? Haminamer et sadehu. If a person spots from minamer to make spots, he spots up his field. How does he do this? What happens is when you plant a field, so not all of the harvest, not all of the produce actually ripens at the same time. So let's say I plant peppers, and half the field is more ripe, is ready to go, and half the field is not. Okay? I'm doing corn, I'm doing wheat, for example, or I fertilize one area and I didn't fertilize sufficiently another area. So therefore, the farmer knows when you have to harvest one area and then not. So what it means to spot your field obviously means when you harvest your field, you harvest spots of your field, v'shi'er klachim lachim, and you left stalks that are lachim, that are unripe, that are not ready to be picked. Rabbi Akiva says, no te'ah and peah mikol echad ve'echad. You give peah for each specific one. The Chachamim say you give for one on all of them. Now, obviously, the question is, when he says peah al kol echad ve'echad, does that mean on each bald spot that you already harvested? Does that mean on whatever you left, i.e., so if I have spot, so then in between I give peah on each one? Or, so there are, obviously that's a machloket, there are different positions about what you give. Some say that it means peah mikol echad ve'echad means on each area. So I cut down one strip of grain, so I have a spot, then that means echad ve'echad on what's left. Other opinions say, no, it means that what I cut, and other opinions it means says I leave on both. I have to take off peah when I first cut the first area, and then I take peah off when I cut the second area. It's a huge machloket in the understanding of the Mishnah. Kol echad ve'echad, does that mean what I cut, what I left, or both what I cut and what I left? Either way, the Chachamim say, me'echad ala kol. I have to take peah, it's all one field, it's just the beginning of the harvest. When I first cut in between, when I spotted out my field, when I cut in between different areas that were ripe, it's all one field, so therefore I only leave one peah. Umodim Chachamim, the Rabbi Akiva, but Chachamim agree, bezorea shevet, o chardal. Chardal is mustard. Shevet is, where do we see it? Shevet is, you see the gastro, dill. Okay? It's some kind of green, dill is a spice, like mustard, that would make sense. Okay? When I do shevet, here we are. Modim Chachamim, the Rabbi Akiva, bezorea shevet, o chardal. When I do dill or mustard, b'shlosha makomot, in three separate places in the same field, obviously. Shehu notein peah mikol echad ve'echad. You give peah from every single different strip of the dill or the mustard seed, and each one is considered its own separate field. And this would obviously be the person's intention, because even though they would never plant a whole field of mustard or a whole field of dill, nonetheless, when you do each strip, when you do each area, the farmer intended it to be a separate sort of mini field within the field, so you give peah on each individual one. I want to dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. If you have any comments or questions, rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.